Deepti ji is called the creative artist, right? Because she has been creating. There's one more thing that I want to mention is that not only you're a painter, but you're also a poet. You have been composing poem. And one book, Black Wind and Other Poems, she's written is on the mental health of women. That is very close to her because she has done, you've done psychology also, right?
Yeah, in my college in New York, I studied psychology. In fact, I studied, I think, abnormal psychology. Because uska bhi jo roots, us cheez ke jo seeds hain, that also you find in the book when I talk about my chapter about Nita Devichand, this friend of mine who was suffering mentally. And we girls, we didn't understand that at that time what was going on, and we found her very strange at times. But then when one got to understand that there is something called mental disorder, and this is what she's suffering from, then and when I went to visit her in the mental hospital when she was admitted there. So those things, I mean, all those things, when I was writing the book, I realized why those choices were made, what was made. And I was able to, actually I didn't know it at the earlier on, but when I was writing this book, I realized everything goes back to childhood. Everything has a root cause somewhere there. And that's why, you choose what you choose to do with your life. So, yeah, it comes from there also. And writing, of course, my father was a writer. He was a professor of English. All his life, he taught English in America. He was teaching at the City University of New York. My mother was a teacher also. So writing, I always saw him, heard him. Wherever we are in the house, we could see Pitaji sitting at his typewriter in the veranda, and we tick, 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 tick. We would hear that soundtrack all the time. He would always be working and writing. I remember his short stories, quite a few, and then he wrote a major book in America, which is it's a major academic study of the immigrant psyche. It's called Striped Zebra, the immigrant psyche. Striped zebra because the parallel lines, you stick to your culture and you adopt the culture of the country where you're living, where you've migrated to, and how you make your life between those black and the white and the black and the white, those lines, those stripes. So that was it's an academic book. It's very it's got all the statistics, and there's a huge amount of stories about immigrants and how, with what difficulties, how people have migrated, and it's a very fascinating book.
Coming to the point of your immigration part, I'm referring to your book. When you realize, like, your father went at the age of 48, that was pretty late for his, for the family's future.
Yeah.
Yes, for the family's future, he wanted a better future for the family.
Yes.
That's why he went. And there was one line when you learned that your father, you asked your father, what should I do?
Yes.
To earn something in US, and your father said, learn typewriting.
Typing, yes.
Yes, and then she went and she did. Within a month, you learned that,
Yes.
took the certificate, and went. And then there was one line which kind of, you had that acting bug, but then you thought when you were going there goes my acting future. So she did give it up, but somewhere down the gin, it was too deep-rooted. So you came back again.
Yeah, I came back after finishing my studies in America, after graduating with fine arts as my major subject and all these other subjects, including American theatre that I got to study, because kahin thoda tha na ki acting ki taraf.
वो acting bug था.
But
Jeans
I
में.
can tell, it's so strange when I think of it. Now, why didn't I have the courage to tell my parents? Because I didn't know there were any acting schools. I didn't know. I thought it was a profession which is not going to be looked up at. It's not going to be the right thing to choose acting as a profession. I'm talking about the 60s, late 60s. And I didn't know. I mean, if I had known, there is an institution in India called
National School of Drama.
Or FTII, whatever. Then I would have had more, it would have had more credibility as a profession. Ki you can go study acting because padhane wale log hain, professors hain, there's an institution, and you can study there and then come to Bombay and then set yourself up as a performing artist. Because I didn't know about that, I thought you need to enter this profession surreptitiously. You know, you won't be able to do it straight on. There, you know, you have to somehow manage to, and you know how that.
Find your way out.
Yeah, find your way
into that profession. But I think at that point of time, there was another thing that you said. You thought learning to dance was another way of getting into acting, but you'd never danced in any of your films.
That's my big tragedy. I so loved dancing, but I never got a single role where I was required to show that side of me. So I think that makes me very sad when I talk about it, so I don't mention it much. But yeah, I used to love the idea of dancing. Yeah.
Deepti ji, one thing that I wanted to ask, the theme of this conclave is India at 100, woman-led development. So what you have created your own kind of space, you know, in spite of all the challenges and everything, and you have had a very nice space for yourself. What is the advice that you would like to give to the present generation and the future generation? What should they do to have their own, to create their own creative space or any futuristic space?
See, I feel today is a much better time that we are living in terms of women pursuing their dreams or going after what they want to achieve in their life. पहले एक mindset होता था कि you can either be a homemaker or a professional, or you can, you know, be somebody who's going to have a profession. I saw that blend happening in my mom's life. She was a teacher and she was a great homemaker as well. She found time for both, you know. But in those days, वो ये था कि शादी कर लो. Most of the girls around me, except for Kiran Bedi, who was a senior in my school, most of the girls would feel कि we are getting education, we are in this convent school, we are going to be, you know, well-bred girls, and we are going to make great homes once we get married. So that was like the finale कि एक बार शादी हो जाएगी तो we are very equipped to, you know, like make a go of our you know, family life. So that somehow never occurred to me to dream like that. I always felt वो तो सब करते ही हैं, but what different? I want to do something different. I want to do something more, something other than that, and I want to live the life of an artist. So I think it is, the whole thing boils down to not letting go of your dreams, pursuing it till you achieve it. You don't have to, because ऐसा लोग सोचते हैं या वैसा सोचते हैं कि नहीं ऐसा तो नहीं हो पाएगा, वैसा तो नहीं हो पाएगा. Don't have to listen. You can multitask. Sitting here na, in front of you, you can multitask. There is no need to pick one or the other. And every woman should get a chance to explore, apart from the role of a woman, of being a mother or raising children. She should have the opportunity to explore the other aspects of her own personality. You know, when they say every successful woman, I think, is the woman herself. Behind every successful girl, there's the girl who dares to dream and will go for it. So that is my advice. I mean, I don't even need to give that advice anymore, because today we already have all these young girls around us who very well know their mind.
Absolutely.
They are not going to compromise. They are not going to settle for anything less. They are going to be what they want to be in their lives. And that's my advice also. Don't give up your dream. Follow it.
Big round of applause, please. Louder.